How many times have you looked at a Firebird and you thought it was a 68, but maybe it could be a 67? For our first video in this series, we brought you the differences in the first-gen Camaro. We figured it would only be natural to follow it up with the other F-body, the first-gen Firebird. While many thought that the telltale signs were easy for the Camaro, our goal is to help those who are not yet able to distinguish the differences between the model years. Since not every car on the road has the correct or original parts, this spotter's guide is to identify how each car came from the factory. And before we continue, keep following our YouTube channel and subscribe. Hit the bell icon, and now let's keep it rolling. The 1967-1969 Firebird differences are pretty simple, and for many of the same reasons as the first-gen Camaro. Some of these details will help you determine what year a Firebird is, especially when you don't have the car in front of you, such as seeing a picture on the internet. Starting off with 1967, the vent window is a dead giveaway on the Firebird, just like it is on the 1967 Camaro. Likewise, the vent window is gone for 1968 and 1969 Firebirds. And the 1969 Firebird has a complete new set of sheet metal. 1969 models can easily be identified by the horizontal body lines extending from the top of each wheel opening. Other than the Firebird 400 and Trans Am, there were a few trim packages that can be identified simply by a decal or emblem, but are otherwise identical to the base model from a visual perspective. For now, we'll stick with identifying the differences between the three model years: the base model, Firebird 400, and Firebird Trans Am. The differences are more visual for these three packages. You can identify the 1967-68 Sprint models by the thin stripes down the side, while 1969 Sprint models have an emblem at the front edge of the rocker panel. Likewise, the HO models for 1967-68 will have similar stripes broken up by H.O. on the front fender. The 326 and 350 models had badges on the rear edge of the hood bulge for all 3 years. The easiest way to distinguish a 67 and 68 from the front is going to be the turn signals and the grille surround color. Although the grills look identical, the 67 grille surround is silver and the 68 grille surround is black. The headlights on the 1969 model are outside of the front bumper chromed, whereas the 1967-68 are encompassed in the front bumper chrome. Front side marker lamps show up for the first time in 1969, with a small round lamp below the front fender line. The 1967 Firebird has the signal lamp under the bumper, inside the front valance opening, whereas the 1968 model has a curved signal lamp, moved out to the corner of the valance panel. Other than the obvious headlamp issue, 1969 Firebirds have a square signal lamp below the bumper, with a crossed bezel over the lamp. Base model rear identification. From the rear, the 1967 and 1968 look identical, so the only way we could tell the difference was to look for the side marker lamp, or you can check the fuel door. For 1967, there is a small indent at the bottom to open the door. For 1968, the Firebird emblem is used to open the door. Like the Camaro, 1967 is void of side marker lamps, while 1968 does add a rear side marker lamp in the shape of an arrowhead. For 1969, a Firebird rear side marker lamp replaces the arrowhead. Firebird 400, Firebird Trans Am. The Firebird 400 and Firebird Trans Am were the more popular Firebirds and had unique cues when compared to the other trim packages. The 400 and Trans Am were actually trim options and were not separate models. However, just changing a few trim pieces doesn't make a base model Firebird into a Firebird 400. It takes a few more parts to pull that off, many of them mechanical. Along with the obvious 400 cubic inch mill, The Firebird 400 had a special hood with dual scoops and a 400 emblem on the outer side of the scoops, and a 400 emblem on the right side of the trunk lid. The 400 also had an arrowhead in the center of the bumper for all 3 years. The 1967 and 1968 Firebird 400 grille is similar to the base model, with 67 having a silver surround and 68 having a black surround. However, the 400 has a chrome trim strip in the center of the grille that extends into the surround. That's it for this video. Make sure to watch our second video on Model Series 1973 to 1974 Firebird formula. Make sure to subscribe to this channel, and we will see you in the next one.